Good evening and welcome to the major news on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Collect your PVC and vote. Your vote is your voice. On the news this evening, President Buhari approves salary increase for judicial officers. Court reserves judgment in Rivers PDP suit challenging Accord's competency to field National Assembly candidates. INEC to print 187 million ballot papers for presidential election. On the foreign scene, Russia hopeful for arms dealer prisoner swap with US. I am Constance Mega. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved and directed that measures be taken for immediate implementation of the enhanced salary and welfare scheme for judicial officers. The president made this known today at the official commissioning and handover ceremony of Nabo Graham Douglas campus of the Nigerian Law School, Port Harcourt, to the Council of Legal Education. He was represented by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami.
Let me use this opportunity also to inform you that as part of the efforts to enhance welfare of judicial officers, Mr. President has recently approved an enhanced salary and welfare scheme for judicial officers and accordingly directed the Chairman, Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Allocation Commission and the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice to promptly commence measures towards the realization and implementation of these directives.
Well, earlier, Governor Nyesom Wike said some of the ongoing and completed projects were funded from the 13% oil derivation funds that the president approved to be paid to the Niger Delta states.
To the Federal, to thank Mr. President, money that were not paid to the Niger Delta state between 1999, the 13% deductions, money that were not paid, Mr. President approved and paid all of us from Niger Delta state. For me, it would be unfair not to tell the public. It is not from fact mode, but as well say, don't pay anything after all. Since 1999, the money has not been paid. You do anything, so I want to sincerely thank you just on that one.
Well, Governor Wike also revealed that most of the buildings in the Nabo Graham Douglas campus of the Nigerian Law School, Port Harcourt, were built by politicians.
But this is one project. I said, I must do and I must do. Then I want politicians. I said, no, every time they talk about empowerment, but the condition I'll give here, if you're ready to go to jail, you have to go to jail, take this job. So I said, look, we are ready, we will build it. All the buildings you see here, each one done by one politician, each one. If you have 17
of existing campuses, it is my humble appeal to the director, lecturers, support staff and students to be posted to this campus to guard against the destruction of the facilities that have been put in place. Maintenance culture must not be jettisoned.
In another development, the director of Youths, Atiku Okowa Campaign Council in Rivers State, Rino Owokiri, has accused Governor Wike of partisanship over a pledge to give logistics support to Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi. Mr. Owokiri, in an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka, said the governor and his allies are hiding under the guise of fighting injustice against the southern region to vent their displeasure over the emergence of Atiku Abubakar as the PDP presidential candidate.
It is double standard by the governor, and it is worrisome that the governor of Rivers State will make such an anti-party statement that he will give logistic support to the presidential candidate of Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, whenever he comes to Rivers State for campaign. The statement of the governor, it is crystal clear that the governor and his colleagues, the G5 governors, are not open for negotiation. Rather, there's nobody in the party from the national that is ready to be part of that visit. We are all aware that he's not protecting the interests of the southern people.
Well, he said that he believes that even if the national chairman of the PDP, Senator Iyorchia Ayu, resigns, Governor Wike and his allies will work against the interest of the PDP in the presidential election.
As I speak to you, I am telling you for free that the governor, even if they ask you to step aside today, the governor of Rivers State will still frustrate the effort of the People's Democratic Party. Based on the statement yesterday, it is so open that it's not open for negotiation. He is also not ready to assist the PDP to move forward to take over power from the APC.
The governorship candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Senator Magnus Abe, has received scores of defectors from the PDP and the APC from various local government areas of the state. Our correspondent reports that the LGAs include Aoda East, Aoda West, Ogubolo, Eleme, including non-indigenes in Obiakpo, where Senator Abe, while receiving the defectors, told them that they have all been liberated from their various political parties, adding that SDP is the answer to their problem. On the issue of the recent attack from the thugs of the opposition party in Oyibo and Okrika, Senator Abe said his choice not to use violence against his attackers does not make him weak, and further assured that the party would not engage in violence for the sake of the election. And now to court matters. The Federal High Court in Port Harcourt has reserved judgments on the suit filed by the PDP in Rivers State challenging Accord's competency to field National Assembly candidates over alleged non-compliance to the new Electoral Act 2022. The presiding judge, Justice Stephen Daylor-Palm, after listening to the various arguments on preliminary objections and adoption of written addresses by lawyers in the case, promised to communicate the judgment date to the parties. Earlier, lawyer to INEC, Ahmed Bawa, told the court that the commission was duly informed about the venue and date of the Accord primary, which the commission monitored. Well, correspondent Soibio Ruwari reports that Justice Daylor-Palm also granted an application brought by INEC's lawyer to regularize processes in the PDP suit against INEC, Accord's governorship candidate Dumolulu Briggs and deputy governorship candidate. Well, the matter was later adjourned to November 25 for definite hearing. The lawyer to the National Assembly candidates of Accord, Abiodu Owonikoko, spoke to newsmen.
Judgment is reserved. The only dimension to it is that in that case, there are some interlocutory appeals that have already been argued at the Court of Appeal, and the outcome may also be relevant to the eventual outcome of this. So the court was made aware of that. The governorship pre-election matter filed by PDP against our candidate, which was filed later. The processes are also in, but there were issues of service of some processes by INEC Council. They were regularized today, but plaintiff still requires time for them to respond.
Well, the PDP lawyer Uche Udenna also spoke to newsmen.
The principal complaint in the matter, the Accord Party held primaries for the nomination of those candidates outside the various constituencies. Under the law, we believe that renders it invalid. INEC knew about it. INEC published a report where they made it clear that they were aware that these primaries held outside the constituencies. So the PDP's case is that INEC has no right to then include the names of candidates who did not comply, whose political party did not comply with the requirement of the law.
In a related development, Justice Stephen Daylor-Palm has also adjourned to November 25 the pre-election matter between National and State House of Assembly candidates of SDP, INEC and PDP. The adjournment followed after INEC's lawyer asked for an extension of the timetable to enable him regularize his court process, where his request was granted. Now, lawyers to the SDP, Biobele George Will, spoke to the SDP, Biobele George Will, spoke to correspondent Sobi Oruwari on why the suit by the PDP is not legally correct.
They claim that they were the only ones that conducted regular primaries and that SDP did not, and that on that basis the court should declare that SDP does not have any candidate for the House of Assembly and National Assembly. But when they were confronted that they do not have the right to complain about the primary elections of other political parties, they denied. They said they were not complaining about the primary elections, that they were complaining about the actions of INEC to just scuttle the candidature of SDP.
Well, the PDP is in court with INEC, SDP and its National and State House of Assembly candidates for non-compliance with the provisions of the 2022 Electoral Act. Still ahead, federal government inaugurates National Poverty Dashboard Situation Room. Stay tuned. The River State chapter of Accord has deployed some of the party's campaign buses for free transportation services within the Port Harcourt metropolis. While speaking to newsmen, Accord governorship candidate Dumolulu Briggs said the gesture is to ease the transportation difficulties experienced by commuters during this period of fuel scarcity. Also, the Director of Logistics and Welfare of the Dumolulu Briggs Campaign Council, Pastor Ammonia Fine Country, told reporters that the buses will operate along the Rumola to Agri Road routes, and that's of Mile 4 to Agri Road. He said the buses will be on the road on weekdays during the morning rush hour at 8 a.m. and in the evenings from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Our correspondent reports that the Accord governorship candidate, Dumolulu Briggs, acted as a conductor in one of the buses and was seen ushering in passengers. Following the recent arrest of 26 foreign nationals suspected to be oil thieves, the Executive Director of Youth and Environmental Advocacy Center, Fineface Dumnamene, says there is no political will to end oil theft in the Niger Delta. Mr. Dumnamene said this while speaking on Nigeria Info FM's Morning Crossfire program.
Yeah, the solution is being difficult because the government is not committed. The political will to end this is not there. And again, it is also being difficult to curtail because the people that are involved in it are in the government. Listen to what the foreigners say, that it was some power from above, some high authority, this and that. That is what you have. And that does not mean that even as we speak now that those people have been arrested, they are arraigned in court and whatever, that another vessel is not being loaded now or transported out of Nigeria right now with crude oil inside. So these things are becoming difficult because the people who are supposed to stop and fight this are aiding and abating the process. They are part of the process. That is why you see this happening.
Well, Mr. Dumnamene said the effect of oil theft is more severe on the people of the Niger Delta.
It is more severe on the Niger Delta because one of the agitations of the Niger Delta people over the years is resource control. And what resource are they struggling to control? It is the oil resources. And if the petroleum, the fossil fuel, which they are struggling to control, has not been given, and people who come from outside with the aid of security operatives allegedly coming in and going out of this nature, then the people are suffering more.
In business, the Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Prince Claire Magba, has inaugurated the National Poverty Dashboard Situation Room. When Mr. Agba inaugurated the National Bureau of Statistics National Poverty Dashboard Situation Room at the Bureau's headquarters in Abuja, he said the idea is to have a data hub of poverty and welfare information with different features where policy discussions can be hosted. In sports, Parimatch, one of the biggest sports betting companies in the world, now in Nigeria, has announced award-winning Afrobeat singer and songwriter Asake as brand ambassador. The collaboration between Parimatch and Asake is befitting because both brands share similar traits: the value of charging towards success and being bold, unique, creative, and dynamic. In a statement about the partnership, Ruby Chukwu, head of PMI Nigeria, mentioned that the team is excited about having such a personality on board. Well, he said that just like music, sports betting is a form of entertainment and that at Parimatch, they have a goal to cement their footprint in Nigeria. Well, he also expressed confidence that the partnership will propel them quicker towards that goal. On his part, Asake, who is Parimatch Nigeria's first brand ambassador, said he is happy, referring to the status and style of the brand as having piqued his interest. But the statement said that in celebration of the partnership, new and old punters get the chance to win a share of 10 million naira in the Terminator jackpot using Asake promo code on the website www.parimatch.ng.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
Russia is hopeful it can agree a prisoner swap with the U.S. that would include infamous arms trafficker Victor Bout, known as the Merchant of Death. Well, it is the first time U.S. or Russian officials have publicly said Victor could be part of an exchange. Well, Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov said today that he hopes the prospect of a swap had strengthened. Well, the U.S. has previously said it was eager to organize a prisoner swap to release U.S. basketball player Brittany Griner. Well, she was convicted of illegal drug possession in August after cannabis oil vapes were found in her bags as she tried to enter Russia. And that's the news, but before we go, another look at the major highlights. On the news this evening, you heard that President Muhammadu Buhari has approved a salary increase for judicial officers. And the court has reserved judgments in Rivers PDP suit challenging Accord's competency to field its National Assembly candidates. INEC says it will print 187 million ballot papers for the presidential election. And on the foreign scene, Russia is hopeful for arms dealer prisoner swap with the U.S. The news was edited by Martha Okere. Cloudy weather in Port Harcourt this evening. Collect your PVC and vote. Your vote is your voice. I'm Constance Mega. Thank you so much for listening. Good evening.